Uh-oh. Noticed some white comb under my cell builder, and I've actually got a mated queen. You can see down here that's a capped brood. So a virgin queen probably got attracted to the smell of all the helplessly queenless bees here and set up camp underneath my hive. And now I get to do a cutout and try to find this queen. Yikes. Gotta love bees and all the fun challenges they give us. They're even making comb under the cinder blocks here, and I had this ramp, and they were making comb under the underside of the ramp that I use like that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be such a challenge to find the queen. Let's get out a bee vacuum maybe. Jeez. Maybe I'll leave this comb here. I've torn out most of the comb underneath. See if that'll attract the queen into this area, and I'll come back and look. Yeah, I'll try that. That's a good idea. Oh my. I was cutting and throwing the comb from underneath, but this is kind of an idea of how much comb that they had made underneath. There's not really any nectar flow, so I think they were actually getting resources from inside the hive and then carrying them outside and doing it underneath the entrance. So go figure on that. The bees were sharing. I've had this happen once before, and I had a single screen. I thought they were doing it through the screen, but now there's a double screen under here that I made, so no way that that's what's going on. They were definitely taking out the front door and sharing it. So my feeding was not all going to my queen cell production, it turns out. I gotta love it. One of the things I really dislike about these apimays is all those nooks and crannies under the front entrance. I much prefer my smooth bottom board screens on my regular wooden hive. So I think I'll be doing that next year. And then the other thing I really like about the wooden, so I can put a medium of foundation underneath for the bees to beard inside the hive rather than bearding outside. And while they're bearding, sometimes they'll draw out that foundation, which is kind of cool. So yeah, some advantages to wood over plastic. But the apamay was tempting to me because of the insulated nature. Thought that might be nice to early spring to have that insulated hive body. And I think that probably helps. Although I didn't notice any difference in the queen cells between the wooden and the apamay. And yeah, the apamay just drives me nuts with the fixed bottom board. Really wish they made them standard without that. Okay, just vacuumed all the bees, hopefully all the bees out from underneath. All the nooks and crannies of these apamay hives are really a challenge. So that's a lot of bees. Should have waited, that would have been neat to see. I can put the phone like that. And a little smoke. I did 2 queen excluders. I'm just a little too worried about her making it through one. So we're just smoking them down. And if I vacuumed up the queen from under the hive, this would make sense. This actually kind of jives with, a while back I had a swarm go over to this cherry tree and then come back to this hive. And I actually did this vacuum underneath thinking, oh, maybe the virgin ended up under the hive. But clearly I didn't get her. Oh, there she is. There's the queen. Oh, look at her trying to go in. So that's my culprit. Right there. Yeah. I'll put a little bit of paint on her back. And put her in a cage. And then when I'm doing splits, or when I'm checking on queen, whether or not my queen's made it in mating nukes, I now have a mated queen I can put into one if it fails. She's actually been laying a good while, like there was capped brood, so I think she's okay to be caged now. Wow. Well, that should boost this nuke by many pounds of bees. And some of the, I imagine that I had a good number of nurse bees underneath feeding her brood rather than inside feeding my cells. So this will make for better queen cells coming up. Yay! But as much as I don't like finding a queen underneath my cell builder, it's much better than finding one inside the cell builder and having all my queen cells destroyed. And that's why I do a queen excluder right here at the entrance. I think that's super helpful to have. In the Apame hives, there's a slot you can take apart the whole front and just cut a piece of queen excluder. On my wooden one, which I actually like better, and I think next year I'll just do all wood, I just cut a little bit into the sidebars of a bottom board, and then my queen excluder can just go on like that. But really handy to have a queen excluder at the front. Much rather have a queen parked underneath and be able to vacuum her up than to go digging in a colony and lose a bunch of queen cells. All right, I'm going to close this hive back up and put the feeders back on, and I think the next batch of queen cells is going to be awesome in this colony.